Hey guys, so today Deb and I are going to walk you through how we typically plan where our next travel location will be, and at the end we'll reveal where we're going to go next by going through our process with you guys. Usually we like to stay in places for about 1 month increments. Well, number one, because most travel visas have a limit of 30 days. And secondly, because we enjoy staying at one place and just trying to get a better feel of the area. And also because we're budget travelers, and that allows us a better budget because we know our expectations, how much things typically cost. And it just ends up being more cost effective this way.
So every time we decide when we're choosing a new location, we either decide to stay in one place for a long time, which we have been since we've been doing the slow travel, or we decide to do 2 or 3 short trips, whether that be in one country, a few different countries. So this time around, we decided to do 2 or 3 short trips. It's all going to be in the country that we choose. And we wanted a little bit of change of pace, just to see if we like it any better.
Try it out.
And try it out. First, we decide on the country we are going to, and so we came up with a small list of 5 different countries. Now, this list has come from different places. It's come from travelers that we've talked to since we've left, from being in Indonesia or Thailand. This list has also come from just watching YouTube videos of other travelers that we follow, or it's even come from just simple Google searches. Just things that, just looking around the internet, seeing cool different places, and just writing them down in our phones or in our notebook. So the list that we came up with is Vietnam, India, Laos, Philippines, Cambodia, and Malaysia. All 5 of these places are places that we've wanted to visit before, or places that, like we said, we heard from other travelers. Brandy's always wanted to visit Laos. India's big on top of my list.
Yeah.
We never really heard too much about Malaysia, but we heard that it's close. Vietnam, we've seen a few different things that we wanted to go in Vietnam. So that's how we kind of made up with this list.
And I really want to go to Philippines.
So next, after we decide on the list of countries, we start to break into some of our numbers and budget. We have a budget of $150 for flights. We really didn't want to pay too much for visas, so we're trying to incorporate flights and visas into one if any of those places did need that. First thing that we look into is visa requirements and what us as US citizens need in order to get into these countries. For Vietnam, you need an e-visa, and for a US citizen, you're allowed 30 days, but it does cost $25 for the e-visa. For India, you get a e-visa, same situation, but it's 60 days, and it costs a total of $90 per person. So right there, India's kind of cut off the list because that's $180 just for two people just to get into the country before flights. Laos is a free 30-day on arrival for US citizens. Philippines is the same, a free 30-day on arrival. So for Cambodia, it's 30-day visa, but you do have to pay a $30 fee, and you have to do your photo, but you actually do your visa once you get there. So once you arrive in Cambodia, as you're filling out the paperwork on the airplane, when you go through immigration, you have to pay a $30 fee, and you have to give them a photo of yourself, and that's your way in to get your visa. Now for Malaysia is actually the most lenient out of all the countries that we have on the list. No visa required. You get a 90-day visa on arrival, which is the most friendly. We've been in Thailand and we were able to get a 30-day visa for here, and we were able to extend it for an additional 30 days while being here. And Malaysia even allows you to extend it for an additional 2 months. So really you could stay in Malaysia for upwards of 5 months, which is a really long time. So that's something that we like.
So once we come up with a list of countries that we know we'd like to visit, and we've checked all their visa requirements, we then look at what the airfare is from where we are, which is currently Phuket, and just see what's the most affordable and what works the best for us. As Devin explained earlier, we do have a budget of $150 for both of us, and that's supposed to include all of our flights and visas. Now, you probably assume that $150 for 2 people and all visas and everything, bags, everything that's included, is kind of too low, but actually in Southeast Asia you can find some really incredible deals on flights. So we're hoping that we can find something within that range that'll be enough for the both of us to get us to all the different places we're trying to visit this next month. So we were actually able to find one of these really good deals when leaving Bali heading to Bangkok. We were both able to fly for $60 USD, and then we were heading from Bangkok to Phuket. We were able to both fly for $105, and again that included all our bags, luggage, everything. So now we'll go ahead and show you guys our process of how we check flights, see what's available, and kind of price some things out to see what we can actually afford to go.
The first thing that we do is to go to google.com, which is actually just my homepage. And what I type in is I go to google.com airbnb.com/flights. And this opens us up to Google Flights. This is where we purchase pretty much all of our flights from. Other people use Skyscanner or use Expedia. We just use Google Flights. It's just what works best for us. We always book one-way flights. It's just the way that we like to travel. We book one-ways whenever, because we don't really know where we're going next. We just like to budget for 1 month, and this is how we get there. So we do one-way travel. I always do 2 passengers. And we always stick with economy. We're budget travelers. We're not flying first class unless a really good deal happens. We haven't seen that yet. The first place that we had decided to look up is Penang, which is in Malaysia. So our Airbnb here in Phuket is actually up on April 30th. So what I usually do is I'll look at the flights for the next couple days or within a few day range. So we have to leave on the 30th, but if I see a flight on the 29th or the 28th that's cheaper or makes more sense and will save us money in the long run, that's usually the flight I'll take. We're only paying $10 a night here. It's like $10 or $11, so it's not very expensive. For here, we would choose the 29th because it's $97 for the flight. And that's one other thing I really like about Google Flights as well, is that if you click on the dates and you have the locations already set, it will actually show you all of the real-time flights for what those dates are. So, you know, if you're looking to plan something later on, you could see that it's cheaper to go in May for $84, for $120 on the 14th is a little bit more expensive, but you could see where the deals are, which is something that we both enjoy. So I click on the 29th, click done, and I can see that it's a non-stop flight. Now the next thing that I do is we do each have a suitcase or 2 carry-ons and 2 book bags. Book bags are usually our personal item, but for 2 carry-ons we select 2 of those. And luckily AirAsia actually doesn't really have too many stipulations for carry-ons. There is a 7-kilogram limit. That may change in the future, but that's what it is as of today. So I can click here.
Also, I'd like to note that we've traveled AirAsia several times and they've never ever weighed our carry-ons. Can't guarantee that will happen for you guys, but we've been pretty fortunate with them so far.
So once we find the cheapest flight, we click select flight, and it allows you to either book it through Google sometimes, or you have to book it through AirAsia. Now, to save some time, we actually did do the cost to other places. For Phuket to Da Nang in Vietnam, the cheapest flight is $172. The cheapest flight from Phuket to India, Mumbai, is $324. And that's for the 2 of us as well.
Not including visas.
Yes, this is not including visas. From Phuket to Luang Prabang, I know I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but this is in Laos, is $178. Phuket to Kraong Siem Reap in Cambodia is $97. And lastly, from Phuket to Cebu City in the Philippines is $281 for the both of us. So immediately we can eliminate quite a few of these because it's over a $150 budget for the month. So we would get rid of the Philippines. We would keep Cambodia. We would get rid of Laos. Get rid of India. And get rid of Vietnam. So the last 2 options that we have are Malaysia, going to Penang, or going to Cambodia. So for this trip, we decided that we're gonna actually be going to Malaysia. And so we're going to get rid of Cambodia. Since we're going to be doing 2 or 3 short trips, Malaysia has a couple cheap flights inside of the country. So we're going to be taking from Phuket to Penang on Monday, April 29th. So from Penang, we're actually going to be taking a flight to Langkawi. Now, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but flights are very cheap from Penang to Langkawi. So we were thinking of taking it the week of the 13th. We don't have an exact date in mind yet, but this is what we're thinking of. So as you can see, flights for the both of us are actually $17. So it's about $9 a person. Now granted, this is only a 35-minute flight, but still $9 flights does not exist in the United States.
No, and definitely not with bags included.
No. So this is a really good deal. We actually looked at possibly taking a ferry from Penang to Langkawi, and it was actually the same price for one person. So one person was $17, and obviously that would include our bags and stuff like that. But here, you know, it's $17 for the both of us. And then once we leave Langkawi, we're going to be going to Kuala Lumpur.
Or KL, as we've heard people refer to it.
Yes, or KL. And we're not really sure of a date that we're going to choose yet, but it's going to be probably the week of the 20th or the 19th. Choosing one of these dates. We see flights for like $30 to $45. We haven't selected one yet, but we will shortly. So these are the 3 places that we're going to be visiting while we're in Malaysia, and that's how we decided. It was really in terms of, you know, the cheapness of the flights, and we also did look at some different activities within Malaysia as well. Things that we can do in each city, things that we can experience, and cool videos that we could show for you guys. Another thing that we look for when we are looking for places is we do look for Wi-Fi. A big part of what we do is that we need to be able to upload these videos, and Brandy and I both work online, and that requires good and steady Wi-Fi, similar to what we've had in Thailand and Bali. So after we pick our locations, the next place we go to is Airbnb. We pretty much use Airbnb everywhere that we've stayed so far. It's been a great experience. We haven't really had any issues. The first place I would go to look up is Penang, Malaysia. Then I click on home and then dates. So we actually are planning to leave the 29th, and up until the week of the 13th, Monday the 13th is when we're thinking of leaving. So roughly around 2 weeks of being there. Now, like I mentioned earlier, some of the big important things for us is Wi-Fi, and a big important thing for me is also air conditioning. Brandy doesn't really care so much about the heat. I really need an air conditioner. So air conditioning is important to me, so I always select that. So since we are being on a budget when going to Malaysia, our budget for a nightly stay is going to be between $10 and $20. So I bring it down to $22, $23 range. Because a lot of times if you message a host through Airbnb, they will work on price with you. And it's also great because I message them specifically for Wi-Fi to see what their speeds are before we get there. So a place like this may cost $23 a night, but I can message them and they can send me a special offer. I've had places knock down the price $5, $6, $7, $8 a night, which does go a long way, you know, especially when you're on budget. So I never really rule out too many places, and it's better to always ask and see what they say. If they say no, then it's a no, but at least, you know, you can possibly get something a little bit better for a cheaper rate. So I'll go through here and I'll pick the different the best Airbnbs that we look for. A big thing for us, and this is just our opinion, is really, you know, something with a decent view, or that's also close to a beach or where a lot of the activities are. We hear that a big portion of this is in Georgetown, so we're going to be trying to stay around there, which is around here. And we're also looking for a place that has good Wi-Fi, that's clean, and pretty much has a double bed, as well as a private bathroom. Brittany and I usually like to have a private bathroom when we are staying at different places. We don't really want to share a bathroom, so that is important to us. We may be on a budget, but that is something that we are accustomed to, so that's the way that we like it. We don't mind sharing other things. We shared a fridge and we shared a kitchen in Bali, but usually we do like to have our own bathrooms. So I'll go through the list and I'll actually open up all of these in different tabs and see which ones that I like best. I'll quickly look through and, you know, look through the apartments as this appears to be. I'm not going to go through all the pictures because you guys can kind of get the idea, but if I do like this place, I would come down here, click on contact host. So once I get on this page, I click through, you know, what to expect from your stay, see if there's any questions here that I can get answered from questions that I've been wondering. And another important thing to note here when you first come in is to look through the house rules and see if there's anything additional that they're requiring. So no smoking, no pets, no parties or events here. One thing to know is when you're coming into price and availability is sometimes you will get discounts for staying longer. So for here, you get a 5% discount on staying longer than a week, or an 11% on stays longer than a month. So this is nice if you're staying in a place longer for a longer period of time, as well as I mentioned earlier that you guys can negotiate a cheaper price. So I still have questions. My first question that I always ask is about Wi-Fi speeds. So this is just a simple message that I usually message. A lot of times when I send this message, they respond with the upload and the download, and they also send me a special request or a special offer that I can purchase their listing through. And a lot of times the special offer is a lot cheaper than the offer that they're offering me in the beginning. So it's always worth it, in my opinion, to message the hosting, the person that's hosting on Airbnb, because a lot of times they do give you special offers or get a few dollars off just to get people into the room. So I'm not actually going to message this place because I don't know if I'm interested in it, and I really didn't look through any of the other places yet. I just wanted to show you guys an example of what it looks like.
So something else that's actually really important to us when we're trying to figure out where we want to stay is the closeness of activities in the area. We really like to be in more local areas and not so much surrounded by tourists, but still be somewhere where we can easily get to a scene or a restaurant, find out who people are at beaches, things of that nature. And something that really helps us is this website, Klook. We basically use this just to find different deals and see where things are located, and just really see what the area has to offer. So when we're getting started on Klook, the first thing that we tend to do is just change the currency, because as you guys can see, they do cater to a lot of different countries. So we just go ahead and change it over to the dollar, make sure everything's in English, and then we would go ahead and type in where we're staying, which in this instance would be Penang. Searching through Klook really allows us to get like a high-level overview of what the area has to offer, see what people who visit are interested in seeing and doing, and it kind of just gives us a better feel for the area. It allows us to see what the popular areas are and really just get a better understanding of where we're getting ready to go and the vibe that we can expect. Something else that we like to use on Klook, go down to the bottom, you'll see that they have a map. And it's pretty helpful for trying to figure out where exactly like locations of activities are and how spread out they are. So you can kind of see what areas are the busiest and kind of get a sense of where you'll be spending the majority of your time. So it looks like they have a lot of stuff going on in the Georgetown area, and that coincides with things that we already heard that is one of the more popular areas over there. So that's good to know. Something else that's important to know when you're traveling around is your method of transportation. We chose not to show it to you guys because really the best way to figure out the easiest form of transportation is just Google searching, and we already showed you guys a lot on the computer. But like I said, pretty much we just do like a deep dive into Google, watch some YouTube videos, see what other people are doing, and based on that research, it seems like the easiest ways to get around Penang is either Uber or Grab, as they both work there, or just renting a bike. From watching other people's YouTube videos, the prices for the bikes seem to be pretty reasonable, similar to what we paid here in Phuket. Not certain whether or not they have to put down a deposit as we did here, but we'll be able to tell you guys more about that once we actually get there and learn for ourselves. But that is something that we know is important.
So that kind of concludes our video for today. We really hope that you guys liked it. If you guys have any questions about things that we didn't cover in this video, please feel free to drop that below in the comment section, as well as if you guys have any suggestions. Maybe we're doing things wrong, maybe you guys have a better method or a way to save us a few bucks. Definitely feel free to let us know. We're gonna put some of the links like Klook and Google Flights and stuff like that in the description to the video, so you guys can just click there if you guys want to book through them. And that really wraps up our video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them below. Like I said earlier, like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.
I'll see you guys in the next one.